15 rock stars. 15 stories of genuine talent, genuine chaos, and the same needle threading through all of it. You already know some of these names. You think you know their stories, but here's what I can promise you. By the time we get to number 1, you're going to feel it. Not just the tragedy of it, the waste. Some of the musicians on this list got out, some didn't. And a few of them fell so deep that what happened at the end, it doesn't sound like something that could happen to a real person. But it did. Let's get into it. Starting at number 15. Number 15, Pete Doherty, The Libertines. Pete Doherty didn't just have a drug addiction, he turned it into a public performance, and somehow the music underneath all of it was genuinely extraordinary, which made the whole thing harder to look away from. The Libertines released Up the Bracket in 2002, and it hit the British music scene like a jolt of electricity. Raw, romantic, chaotic indie rock. Oh, my friends, you haven't changed. Two frontmen, Pete and Carl Barrett, who loved each other and resented each other in equal measure. They were going to be massive. The press was already saying it. And then Pete Doherty just unravelled in public, over and over again. He was arrested dozens of times, photographed nodding off at parties with crack cocaine in full view of the cameras. He burgled the home of his own bandmate Carl to fund his habit, and he was dropped from Glastonbury, fired from the Libertines. He started Baby Shambles, which produced a genuinely brilliant debut album in Down in Albion, and then immediately fell apart at the seams again. The tabloids absolutely loved him. Every court appearance, every collapsed vein, every bleary-eyed exit from a police station, it was all documented in real time. His relationship with Kate Moss became the most photographed drug romance in British tabloid history. Here's what gets me about Doherty's story though. The music never stopped being good. Even while he was dismantling his life in front of the cameras, the songs were still there, still beautiful, still worth something. But if you were following British music in 2004 and 2005, you know exactly which story you were waking up to every morning. That's number 15. Here's number 14. And they said it would never come for you. Number 14, Darby Crash, The Germs. Darby Crash didn't spiral into addiction, he designed it. When he was 17 years old, he laid out a 5-year plan: form a band, make them legendary, record one great album, then die on his own terms, in a way that would cement his name in rock mythology forever. The Germs became exactly what he wanted: violent, chaotic LA punk, the kind of live show that felt dangerous just to be in the room. Darby would perform stoned, let the audience write on him in permanent marker, crawl through the crowd, take injuries. Their album GI, produced by Joan Jett, remains one of the cornerstones of American hardcore. Even the members of later bands that defined a generation cite the germs. Pat Smear, Darby's co-founder, went on to play guitar for Nirvana and the Foo Fighters. By December 1980, Darby Crash was 22 years old and the plan was complete. He spent his rent money on $400 worth of heroin. He made a death pact with a friend named Casey Cola. On December 7th, they injected it together in a house in the Fairfax district. Casey survived, Darby didn't. He'd planned it down to the note he left. He wanted to be remembered like Sid Vicious. He wanted the mythology. And here's the part that probably would have broken him if he'd lived to know. John Lennon was shot in New York the very next day. December 8th, 1980. Darby Crash's death became a footnote, one paragraph in the back pages, if mentioned at all. He plotted his own immortality, and fate handed him total erasure. And what I keep coming back to, 22 years old. He sat down and thought it through, not in a fog, deliberately. That's a different kind of story than most of the names on this list. That's number 14. 13 is next.
Real talk. Only 9% of you are subscribed. That hurts. We're spending hours digging through archives, fact-checking every detail, bringing these stories back to life. And if you're watching this far, you clearly care. So hit subscribe. It's free and takes 2 seconds. Now, to my subscribers, barely any of you have joined the membership. And honestly, that stings even more. You know the work we put in. You keep coming back. If these videos have ever made you feel something, if this music means something to you, join the membership. It's $1 coffee a month and it's the only way we keep this going. Let's build this together. All right, back to it.
Number 13, Bradley Nowell, Sublime. Bradley Nowell got married on May 18, 1996. His new wife, Troy. His son, Jacob, was 11 months old. After years of heroin addiction, rehab stints, near misses, and desperate pleas from everyone who loved him, it looked like maybe things were turning around. 7 days later, he was dead. His body was found on the morning of May 25th at a motel in San Francisco. He was 28. The cause was heroin, a batch apparently far more potent than what he was used to. He had lost his tolerance. He didn't know. 2 months after that, exactly 2 months, Sublime's self-titled album dropped. What I Got went to number 1 on the modern rock chart. Santeria, Do in Time, Wrong Way. Hundreds of thousands of people discovered this music, fell in love with it, wore it into their identity. And plenty of them had no idea the man who made it was already gone. You've heard What I Got blasting from a car window in the middle of summer. You probably know the opening line by heart. That music, that warmth, that California ease, that thing that feels like it was made by someone who just had a really good day. Was made by someone who was actively killing himself during the recording sessions. There were moments in the studio at Willie Nelson's place in Texas where the producer had to physically check whether Nowell was still alive in the bathroom. His son, Jacob, is now the lead singer of Sublime. Jacob joined the band in 2023. And when he sings his father's songs, those specific sun-drenched songs, there's something in that room that is bigger than nostalgia, something that doesn't have a clean name. Number 13, coming up as 12. Number 12, Hillel Slovak, Red Hot Chili Peppers. Here's what most people don't fully understand about the Red Hot Chili Peppers, the band you know, Californication, Under the Bridge, Blood Sugar Sex Magic. That band exists in the shape it does because of a death that happened in 1988. Hillel Slovak was the original guitarist. He was also Anthony Kiedis' closest friend since high school. They discovered music together, discovered Los Angeles together, and discovered heroin together. When RHCP were touring in support of the Uplift Mofo Party Plan in 1988, both of them were trying to quit. They made a pact on the tour bus. They were going to get clean. They were going to help each other through it. When they landed back in LA after that tour, they hugged at the airport, said they loved each other. Roy promised everything was going to be different. Then both of them made a beeline for their dealers.
Don't quote me, girl, 'cause I ain't said shit.
On June 25th, 1988, Hillel Slovak overdosed alone in his Hollywood apartment. His body wasn't found for 2 days. Anthony Kiedis didn't go to the funeral. He fled to Mexico on a drug binge. Drummer Jack Irons quit the band entirely. He literally could not carry the weight of it. And that grief, that specific unprocessable guilt, became the engine underneath everything RHCP built afterward. Knock Me Down, My Lovely Man, Other Side. Those songs are direct monuments to Hillel Slovak. They're still paying a debt they can't ever fully settle. If you've ever lost someone and kept moving when you probably shouldn't have, you know what that costs. Kiedis was paying it for the next decade. Number 12, 11 is coming. Number 11, Andrew Wood, Mother Love Bone. Picture this, you're Stone Gossard, you're Jeff Ament, you've got a band, Mother Love Bone, and you've got the most magnetic frontman in Seattle. This is early 1990. You've got your debut album ready, Apple, and it's good. Not just good, it's the kind of record that changes things. Label money, press interest, the whole mechanism loaded and aimed at something real. Your lead singer checks himself into rehab to get clean before the release. Over 100 days sober, he's doing everything right. On the night of March 16, 1990, Andrew Wood decides to score one more time, just once. He'd lost his tolerance in rehab, he didn't account for it. His girlfriend found him unresponsive, 3 days in a coma at Harborview Hospital. His family and bandmates gathered around him. He played his favourite album, Queen's A Night at the Opera, and took him off life support. Was released 4 months later without him. What happened in the aftermath is almost too much to hold in one thought. His roommate, Chris Cornell of Soundgarden, wrote a tribute album called Temple of the Dog. His former bandmates Gossard and Ament formed Pearl Jam. Alice in Chains wrote Wood in his memory. I'm not trying to push your feelings. In the liner notes, Jerry Cantrell said he was thinking about Andrew Wood the whole time. Every major Seattle band of the 1990s is in some way growing out of the hole Andrew Wood left. And I miss her He never got to exist in the world he helped build. That's number 11. 10 is next. Number 10, Iggy Pop, The Stooges. Before there was punk, before there was Kurt Cobain or Layne Staley or any of the names that would come to define rock addiction, before any of the mythology had been written, there was Iggy Pop and the heroin. The Stooges didn't just make music in the early 1970s, they invented a whole mode of being, raw, confrontational, deliberately self-destructive. Iggy Pop crawling through broken glass on stage, smearing peanut butter on himself, stage diving into crowds that didn't catch him. And underneath all of it, the heroin, the speed, the chemical chaos of a man trying to exist in a state no human body was built for. By 1975, the Stooges had imploded. Iggy Pop had voluntarily checked himself into the UCLA Neuropsychiatric Institute. His body and mind had hit a wall that even Iggy Pop couldn't run through. And then something strange happened. David Bowie checked him out. They went to Berlin together. And in 1977, coming out the other side of all of that darkness, Iggy Pop recorded The Idiot and Lust for Life, the two albums that most directly influenced every wave of punk and post-punk that came after. Trainspotting opens with Lust for Life. You know that opening drum hit? That song was written by a man who had been institutionalised 2 years earlier. And if you've ever done something destructive and walked out the other side, genuinely changed, not fixed, not recovered, but changed, you know there's a version of that in what Iggy Pop built. He took his bottom and made something from it that most musicians would trade everything to have made. Still performing, still alive. That's number 10. And here's where this list changes. Number 9, Shannon Hoon. Number 8, Johnny Thunders, New York Dolls. You want to understand where the rock junkie archetype actually came from, not the mythology, the actual origin. Start here. Because before Scott Weiland, before Kurt Cobain, before any of the names that became synonymous with the needle, there was Johnny Thunders. The New York Dolls were proto-punk before punk even had a name. 1973, 1974, strutting around New York in platform heels and smeared lipstick, sounding like the Stones had been left out in the rain. Their influence on every wave of punk, glam and hard rock that followed is almost impossible to overstate. And Thunders, their lead guitarist, was the one the whole thing orbited around. He was also, by most accounts, always high. That wasn't a rumour, that was just the situation. The Dolls burned out by 1975. The Thunders spent the next 15 years being exactly what he was, brilliant, unreliable, and living like he was actively trying to reach the end. The Heartbreakers, solo records, collaborations that almost came together and then didn't. A few shows were transcendent, most were chaos. He was always a few dates away from something great and a few grams away from nothing. In April of 1991, Johnny Thunders was found dead in his room at the Hotel St. Peter in New Orleans. He was 38. Methadone intoxication was the official cause. He'd also been living with undiagnosed leukemia. Some people believe there was foul play. Nobody knows for certain. Here's what stayed with me. Every guitarist who ever wore their addiction like a badge of honour, who decided the junkie image was part of the rock mythology they were selling. They all had Johnny Thunders somewhere in their lineage, whether they knew it or not. He built the template. That's number 8. 7 is coming. Number 7. Syd Barrett, Pink Floyd. This one's different from the rest, because this isn't about heroin. It's about something that, in some ways, is harder to look at. Syd Barrett didn't just lose his career to drugs, he lost himself. He founded Pink Floyd in 1966.
Emily tries, but misunderstands.
He wrote Arnold Layne, See Emily Play, Astronomy Domine. He was the whole brain behind the operation, the psychedelic poet, the visionary. When The Piper at the Gates of Dawn came out in 1967, it felt like music from somewhere else entirely, like someone had cracked open a different frequency and let something through.
But his dreams till tomorrow.
And then the LSD use accelerated, fast.
Gazing through trees in sorrow, hardly a sound.
By 1968, his behaviour had become impossible to work around. On stage, Syd would stand and stare blankly at the crowd, playing one chord, or not playing at all, or playing something that had no relationship to what the rest of the band was doing.
She's often inclined to borrow some.
His grip on shared reality was loosening in public, in front of everyone who'd come to see him.
Doc, Emily cries.
David Gilmour was brought in, and one day, when the van came to pick Syd up for a show, they just didn't stop. They drove past his house and kept going. That's how Syd Barrett found out he was out of Pink Floyd. He attempted solo work, the Madcap Laughs in 1970, and the sessions were heartbreaking. People who were in the room say he was barely there. He eventually retreated to Cambridge, moved back in with his mother, painted, never recorded again. In 1975, Pink Floyd was recording Wish You Were Here, their tribute to him. When a heavy-set, shaved-headed stranger walked into Abbey Road Studios, nobody recognised him. Not Roger Waters, not David Gilmour, nobody. It was Syd.
There is no other day.
That story has been told 100 times, and it lands every single time. Number 7, Sixx is next. Number 6, Steven Tyler, Aerosmith. If you want to know how bad Aerosmith's drug years actually were, really listen to Draw the Line. That's 1977. Steven Tyler and Joe Perry were so deep into heroin and cocaine by that point that Tyler has since said he has no clear memory of recording entire albums. Not sketchy memory, no memory. They called themselves the Toxic Twins, Tyler and Perry. And that wasn't affectionate, it was accurate. The band was disintegrating in real time through the late 1970s. Joe Perry quit in 1979. Brad Whitford quit in 1981. And Steven Tyler was somewhere in the chemical fog trying to hold a band together that had already essentially fallen apart. Here's what gets to me about Aerosmith's addiction story specifically. Aerosmith is arguably the greatest American hard rock band. Toys in the Attic, Rocks, Dream On. That run of albums in the mid-1970s is genuinely extraordinary, and they nearly buried all of it under the weight of their own destruction. The intervention that changed everything came in 1984. Their manager set it up. The whole band sat in a room and told Tyler exactly what they were watching him become. He went in, got clean, Perry came back. And then, this is the part that shouldn't work but does. They got clean and became bigger. Permanent Vacation in 1987, Pump in 1989, stadium tours, Grammy nominations. They were on top of the world at 40 years old. Then in 2009, Tyler relapsed. Prescription drugs after a foot injury on stage. Because addiction doesn't leave, it waits. One that means something to you. You know what a real comeback looks like. Number 6, 5 is Coming.
I could stay lost in this moment.
Number 5, Scott Weiland, Stone Temple Pilots. In 1997, Scott Weiland was arrested for heroin possession on the same day he was released from jail for a previous heroin possession charge. You cannot write that story. You cannot make it up. Stone Temple Pilots broke through in 1992 with Core, Plush, Everywhere, Creep, Wicked Garden. By 1994, they'd won a Grammy for Best Hard Rock Performance. And Scott Weiland, singular voice, genuinely magnetic stage presence, one of the great rock frontmen of that entire era, had already started injecting heroin. His first time was 1993, on tour, back room of a New York hotel. He said later it made all his insecurities go away, that it felt like finally arriving somewhere. And if you know how that works, if you've ever found something that quieted the noise, just for a while, you know how that becomes the whole story. Over the next 2 decades, Weiland was fired from STP, hired back, fired again. He fronted Velvet Revolver brilliantly and was let go from that too. And on December 3rd, 2015, he was on tour with his new band, The Wildabouts, in Bloomington, Minnesota. The tour manager went to his bunk to wake him up before the show. He was already stiff. 48 years old, cocaine, alcohol, MDA in his system. The tour manager said later, "I shook his leg and thought, oh God, he's not moving. I went to his shoulders and realised he was stiff." His former STP bandmates wrote him an open letter. Part of that gift was part of your curse. The voice was always extraordinary. The rest of it never gave him a fair chance. That's number 5. 4 is next. Number 4, Nikki Sixx, Mötley Crüe.
One more night, and I'm coming on this floor.
December 23rd, 1987. Nikki Sixx was out with Slash, Steven Adler from Guns N' Roses, Robin Crosby from Rat, Late Night. He had a dealer inject him with a dose he'd been building toward for months. He turned blue. His friends couldn't rouse him. A woman named Sally McLaughlin tried mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, while by all accounts, Slash destroyed the hotel bathroom around her. It wasn't working. The paramedics arrived. And by the time they got him loaded into the ambulance, Nikki Sixx was clinically dead. 2 minutes. 2 syringes of adrenaline directly into the chest brought him back. He describes the experience in The Heroin Diaries, looking down at himself, face covered with a sheet, being pushed into an ambulance on a gurney. While this was happening, new radio stations in Los Angeles started reporting that he had died. His bandmates got calls in the middle of the night. Vince Neil said later, "I cried, and I never used to cry then."
You know that I've seen.
Sixx woke up. A paramedic told him no one was dying in his ambulance. Sixx checked himself out of the hospital, left in his leather pants, got a ride home from 2 teenage girls who were sitting outside crying by a candle. And then he shot up again that night. Within days of his own clinical death, he wrote the bass line that would become Kickstart My Heart.
Left all alone, take me to your heart.
And here's where I'll just say what I think. If you've ever done something that should have stopped you and it didn't, if you've ever looked a wake-up call in the face and kept moving, you understand something about what Nikki Sixx was living inside, not excusing it, just saying you understand it. He's been sober for over 20 years. He made it out. That's number 4. 3 is coming. Number 3, Keith Richards, Rolling Stones. Most people on this list lost. Keith Richards survived, and that might actually be the most disturbing thing about his story, because it makes no logical sense that he did. From the late 1960s through most of the 1970s, Keith Richards was one of the most committed heroin addicts in the history of rock music. Multiple drug busts, multiple countries. In 1977, he was arrested at an airport in Toronto carrying heroin. He faced potentially serious prison time. It took intervention from Eric Clapton, among others, to help navigate what could have been a catastrophic legal outcome. But here's what's remarkable about the Keith Richards addiction story: the band kept going. New Exile on Main Street was recorded at a villa in the south of France. partly because touring restrictions were in place, and partly because Keith was, by most accounts, too deep in the heroin fog to operate normally. The rest of the band worked around his schedule. Sessions happened whenever Keith was conscious. There are Rolling Stones albums from the 1970s where, if you know what you're listening for, you can hear the heroin in the tempo, in the way the songs breathe. Some Girls came out in 1978. That album sounds like it was made by a man operating on a frequency nobody else could quite access, and somehow it worked. He cleaned up through the late 1970s and early 1980s. The Toronto scare was real, but by his own account it wasn't clean overnight. He's 82 years old now, still playing. The most recognisable guitar sound in rock history, still here when most of the names around him aren't. Some people survive what should have killed them. Keith Richards built a career out of it. Number 3, 2 is next, and I need you to stay with me for these final two. Number 2, Kurt Cobain, Nirvana. Here's the part that usually gets left out of the story, the part the documentaries rush past. Kurt Cobain died on April 5th, 1994. That's the date everyone knows. But 8 weeks before that, March 4th, 1994, in a hotel room in Rome, he overdosed and was unconscious for more than 5 hours. Courtney Love found him. He was rushed to the hospital. The official explanation at the time was an accidental combination of champagne and the sedative Rohypnol. Some people believe Rome was a first attempt at what would come later. We know at minimum that it was a warning that the people around him couldn't find a way to act on in time. Nevermind came out in September 1991. Within a year, it had turned mainstream music inside out. And within that same window, Cobain's heroin addiction had become an open secret. Rolling Stone ran photos of his track marks in 1993. People saw it. Nobody quite knew what to do with what they were seeing. And if you were old enough to know what Nirvana meant, if that music was the soundtrack to some specific version of yourself when you were 15 or 16, the one that only existed inside certain bedrooms and certain years, you know exactly what that news felt like when it hit. He was 27. He died on the same date as Layne Staley, 8 years apart, April 5th. And that brings me to number 1. Stay with me. This is the one that still gets to me. Number 1, Layne Staley, Alice in Chains. On April 19, 2002, police were called to a condominium in Seattle's University District. Nobody had heard from the occupant in 2 weeks. His accountant had raised the alarm when no money was withdrawn from his bank account for 14 days. The police broke down the door. Layne Staley was 34 years old. He stood 6 feet 1 inch tall. He weighed 86 pounds. He'd been dead for 2 weeks. His body was so decomposed that authorities had to identify him through his dental records. Let that land for a second. 86 pounds. He was the voice of Alice in Chains, Rooster, Wood, Down in a Hole, Nutshell, one of the most emotionally precise, physically distinctive voices in the history of rock music. The kind of voice that sounds like it's coming from somewhere deep that most people are too afraid to look at. That voice came from somewhere real inside a person. And what happened to that person, what the last 4 years of his life looked like, is the darkest story on this entire list. After Alice in Chains went on hiatus in 1996, Layne Staley became a recluse. He wouldn't let most people into his apartment. Mike Starr, their bassist, was reportedly the last person to see him alive the day before he died. They argued. Starr wanted to call 911. Layne refused. Starr left. And Layne's last words to him were, "Not like this, don't leave like this." Before his death, in what may have been his last interview, Layne Staley said, "I know I'm near death. I did crack and heroin for years. I never wanted to end my life this way. I know I have no chance. It's too late." He knew for years. He wrote songs about it. He told you directly in the music. I feel the way that every prisoner must feel. The walls are closing in, and nobody, not the people who loved him, not his bandmates, not the fans who loved this music, could get through to wherever he was. He died on April 5th, 2002, the same date as Kurt Cobain, 8 years later.